So right now I'm on the trail directly behind the Rex Hotel in Promised Land State Park, which is the small motel that Joanna and I, my wife and I, renovated a few years ago, right at the peak of COVID. We moved there, literally took our family out of the city because everything was shut down. We bought a rundown motel for $242,000, then stayed there for a year, fixed it up, got it up and running. It has become wildly successful. I really can't understate how life-changing that was, even though that was really supposed to be a small intermission in our life. And I think a lot of people had very similar experiences during COVID where they did something that they thought was going to be temporary, but it turned out to be permanent and more impactful to their lives than they could have ever imagined. And that was definitely the case for us because my business journey has been somewhat fraught. Before COVID struck, I was doing exactly what I thought I wanted to do and be. I was growing a clothing company. I was opening stores. I had, nearly 100 employees. There were so many things about that was exciting and engaging. And I didn't realize how unhealthy it was. I didn't realize that I was not only building an unhealthy business that was really unsustainable in the sense that it was trying to do so much, like so much. We had stores, we had clothing for men, women, kids, we had coffee shops, you name it, we had it. And it was just very exciting. I was also really like unhealthy, not just physically, but just not really mentally there as a husband, as a father, and moving out of the city and moving into a rundown motel, even though we don't live there anymore. Now I feel like we're at another crossroads. Everything that we've built over the last few years, because it's not just the motel, right? Then we moved back to the city for family reasons and whatnot. But it was okay because now the career change had happened and this like holistic view on life had already began to develop. Ultimately, a business that felt like it didn't need the vanity metrics of, say, sales and employees to be successful. Because I think that was the thing that I was so caught up with, raising money, sales, and employees. Whereas now we have, a handful of employees, a couple $1 million in sales, and a much more healthier, profitable business. These things are built, right? The campground is built down the road, Ferncrest, hotel in the city, Society Hotel, and then there's the Rex Hotel. So there's this burgeoning hospitality empire that has developed over the last few years. I realize though that I'm starting to desire and hunger for more. Yes, it's okay to build a sustainable small business, but it also means that like I'm not just one to now sit back and just collect the profits, collect the pay. I'm a builder. I'm really not an operator. That's why Joanna and I can work so well together because she really has like an operational ability and I have more of this like pit bull mentality of just like grow. And I really have to find the balance this time. I don't want to make the same mistakes. I don't want to just go out and buy more property and start building. That would put me back. That would put me back to the previous self that I know is unhealthy, which is grow for growth's sake and try to do everything ourselves. And you cannot do it all on your own, right? It's all about the community. It's all about the people. As I look at what I'm doing with social media and all the followers and all the people that have really resonated with this story of defining myself through this hospitality venture, I'm starting to realize that it's not about me doing it on my own. It's about figuring out how to do it with the community. And what I mean by that is there are so many people that aspire to do exactly what we did. And we did it almost on accident, right? It was like unintentional the way that this business has developed, but turns out it is pretty aspirational. And it almost does feel like a TV show or a movie sometimes. It really feels like we've done something uniquely special, and I didn't really fully realize it until the message got out there online and we started to see all these followers, across platforms. Over 500,000 people have resonated enough to hit follow. And if I was purely tied up on vanity metrics, that would be something that people also use as a definition of success. But I use it as a definition of interest. I never started sharing our story to get brand deals or work with other companies or get revenue that way. I started it to share our story and hopefully attract people to our actual hospitality businesses to stay. But now I'm realizing that the actual benefit of sharing our story and having all of these people engage with us is that it's showed us that there's so many people that want to do exactly what we've done. I guess the core message here is that it would be a fallacy and it would be wrong if I just went out and continued to grow on our own, continue to buy properties, develop them, grow. And I never really looked at the franchise model before, but it turns out that that's probably exactly what somebody like me, somebody that wants to grow, wants to lead, wants to be an authority in the space, wants to truly push boundaries, that could definitely be the best opportunity. It scratches my itch with growing, leading, mentoring, coaching. It's still active enough where I feel like I'm actually a part of it and I'm actually growing it, but it's their individual businesses, right? It's our franchisees' individual businesses. So when they commit to opening a Ferncrest franchise, they get to own it entirely. So at the end of the day, it doesn't overstretch me as much as it would if I was doing it on my own, because they can ultimately still make the calls. They have a vested interest in it because it's theirs, right? It's not mine, it's theirs. But what is mine and what I am very motivated by is the brand. It allows me to do what I feel like I missed out on the last time I put my heart and soul into a business, to grow something of purpose and meaning, to grow something that can leave a mark, not just on myself, but my children, my family, the people around me. I just feel like there's more to business than making money. And I've always felt this way. And I know that sounds cliche to say. You know, when I started the clothing company, it was to clean up world's oceans and do all these cleanups. We removed 5 million pounds of trash. Yes, that was a marketing metric, but it was also real. Like I started that business because it meant something to me. And then I started raising money, and then I got distracted, and I started growing, and I stopped caring as much about the cleanups. I started this business with Joanna because I wanted to change our life. You know, I wanted to have a distraction from COVID, but ultimately I knew that real estate and I knew that hospitality, all of those things were perfectly suited to us. And I really did feel like deep down inside, even though I did think it was an intermission in our busy careers because of COVID, I knew that this had a chance to really fundamentally change the way that we were living life. I worry that as COVID has obviously ended and we're charging, I worry that I could lose sight of that. And so I want to be inspired by the stories of other people that I hear, that I get to chat to about, say, the franchise model, be reinvigorated by those on a regular basis. And that's why I'm genuinely excited about what we're doing now, what Joanna and I are building together. It's not just about the 3 years and the lessons that we've learned from building a hospitality business, but it's about the 15 years prior as well. We built a national brand, and although it wasn't financially successful for us personally, it did do things. It made an impact. And the years at the end were definitely underwhelming and negative in many ways, but it was special. And I think that the lessons that I learned from growing that, but also failing, the lessons that I learned from failing go far beyond any lessons of success. And those lessons of failure with that business, with my first true business love, are forcing me to stand here at this crossroads in the middle of the woods and make a decision about how I'm going to grow this next business, how we're going to grow our Ferncrest franchising glamping business in a sustainable, genuine, community-centric way that is truly going to make an impact on life and also be something that we can do for the rest of ours. So if that message resonates with you, if you're somebody that's looking for your purpose both in life, but also maybe your business purpose, if you're entrepreneurial and you want to do something, just know that you don't have to do it all on your own. I know that's obvious, but it's very often forgotten by entrepreneurs. And you also don't have to do everything. You don't have to be a billion-dollar business to be successful. Sometimes all it takes is a small property, small mountain town, or anywhere in this world to be a super successful, profitable, happy entrepreneur. Those are the types of people that we want to work with. So if that means something to you, if I'm speaking to you, drop me a line, let's chat. It doesn't even have to be about glamping, but if you want to be somebody that has fundamentally changed your direction in life through entrepreneurship and through the decisions that you've made with how you're going to actually build your next business or build your current business, I want to hear about it. So see you on the other side.